Okay, so I want to tell you a story, and I promise you, you had told me 2 years ago, 2 years, that I would be homeschooling my kids, I would have looked at you like you had two heads, two of them. Okay, homeschooling was not even on my radar. It wasn't something I grew up around. It wasn't something my family did. It honestly wasn't even something I had really thought about as an option. Okay, my kids were in school; they were doing just fine. Life was moving along, and then God had other plans. He said, take them children out of school. He said it just like that. Take them children out of school. Mm, 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 mm. And today I want to take you all the way back to the beginning, how it started, like what made me do it, how we actually made it happen, and what our homeschool life looks like right now. So grab you something to drink. You know how we do. Let's talk. I got some little blue today. I got some fancy water today, honey. Okay. I didn't have an Alani today. I actually had was it a Poppy? I think it was called Poppy. I don't know. I posted a reel about it. I don't Bloom. That's what I had. I had Bloom, not Poppy. I had a Bloom today. So yeah, let's chat. You know how they say you don't know what you don't know? That's real, right? And I think about that all the time now, especially when it comes to homeschooling and how everything was lined up. So I was on TikTok. This was around 2023, and the algorithm just started showing me these families, or I typed in something about homeschooling and all the different type of homeschool families, like North Carolina, different states. And it wasn't just one type of family either. It was all kind of people, like different backgrounds, different states, different approaches. You saw the moms, you saw the dads, you saw all of it. And I just started watching. Like I couldn't stop watching because I was seeing something I had never seen before. Like I never saw that type of life. These kids were learning. They were happy. They were doing life with their families, and it just in a very, really, real, intentional way. And something in me woke up. Something in me woke up, and I just believe that exposure is everything. And I say it all the time. In order for you to expand, you have to be exposed. And TikTok exposed me to just a whole different world. And I didn't even know that this world exists for us. It wasn't like I watched one video and made a decision. It was more like a slow opening, I would say, like a door that it was starting to crack open, and then God just was like, walk through it. Okay. And I want to be very specific about this part because I don't want to like just gloss over it, because when it came to my kids, they were in school. Everything was fine. And I started getting this feeling, not like a passing thought type of feeling. It was really, really heavy, really heavy. That kind that doesn't go away. The kind where you try to ignore it, and it just keeps sitting on you and sitting on you. And that's when I knew it. I told my husband, I said, this has to be God, because that's how he moves in my life. It's not always like a loud banging voice, but it's with the persistent, like the heavy knowing. And I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake it in my body. And, and he was saying to me, bring your kids home. I told my husband first, I said, I believe that God is calling me to homeschool. I just believe it. And he was like, at the time, he was saying, he looked at me, he was like, if that's what you believe, he's very supportive of what I do. So he said, if that's what you believe that God's calling you to do, I'm here to support you in any way that I can, whether it's financially that we need for the kids. But he always brought it back to me and said, listen, is this what you want to do? Can you handle it? At that time in 2023, my business wasn't like it is now. This soft business that I talk about, it was very much I was in service based. I was still in publishing. And so I was still doing a lot of things. So he looked at that and then he looked at me. He was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. I just had this overwhelming feeling that this is what I needed to do. Okay. So that's the thing about being obedient too, is that God don't call you because he think you know it all. I just told you I was looking at a few TikToks and, kind of get myself acclimated, and I knew there were resources out there. I just needed to plug in to those resources, but it wasn't like, I knew it all. I only have a high school diploma. I don't have a degree. I've taught before, but I've taught in summer camps and, things like this. So I'm used to being around children. I'm used to teaching. But I didn't have this inclination that I needed to disqualify myself. Of course, I had like, wow, am I good enough? Will my children be left behind? Because in those type of things, just like we all had those feelings. Now, this is not a small thing. Okay. This is a life change. Okay. It was, I knew it was going to be a schedule change, a financial conversation, a wealth different way of doing things. So I didn't just like jump up and just pull them out of school the next day. I didn't do that. I did let them finish up the school year. Okay. And I wanted to be smart about it. I wanted to be prepared, and I started doing my homework. And I can't remember when all this, like the exact dates, but I knew they were still in school. I wanted to know that once God put it on my heart, that I didn't question it, whether I was going to do it. I just started figuring out how. Much like we do now, it's like we get this feeling, or we feel like we say God said to us to do something, and instead of me bagging out and questioning and procrastinating, I got to work. I had all confidence that it was God. Okay. I didn't get the confirmation that it was him until later on. I'll talk about that, but I just had the feeling. It was like knowing. It's like a knowing it was God. I knew it was God. First of all, God speaks to me personally in different ways. But I know when it comes to not my feelings, like not because we can, we get caught up in our feelings, but it was like in my stomach. It was like I had these twists and turns, and I was like, and it kept weighing on me. I would have dreams about it. Um, and he started lining up women that I was already in conversation with anyway. Like we were building, friendships off of TikTok onto, in real life. And it was like he just lined it up. He just lined it up. And it's much like anything. I hope that you take, even from my story that I'm talking about now, is be obedient to God. Do what he says. If he says to do this, I didn't question it. I had, of course, my husband had questions because he out of concern for me, but it was like I just knew. I just knew, and I didn't have no evidence or nothing, but I knew. And it's just about a knowing. I'm trying to make sure I can articulate it so you can feel what I'm saying. But if you feel what I'm saying, drop some emojis down. Drop your favorite emoji down there, down below. Drop some pink and let me know you like, girl, I get it. I get what you mean. So while the kids were finishing up the school year, I went into research mode. Yeah, I went into research mode. And the first thing I did was reach out to women again that I already knew, who was homeschooling. Because why would I start from scratch? Like when there are already women who have been doing this and they can point me in the right direction. And to me, that's just smart. Just overall, just life. That's why we always here to help each other. So if you know someone who already has something figured out, you know, you don't try to figure it out. Call them, ask questions. Don't be too proud to learn. And I'm still learning. Okay. I also made sure that I understood what North Carolina required. Okay. Because Homeschooling is legal. So there are guidelines we have to follow. There are standards. And I wanted to make sure that we were doing this right. Okay. I'm not just winging it with my kids' education. I took that part very, very seriously. So we planned for September 2024 to start, and we started. And then in August of 2024 happened. And just what that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, with that. God confirms everything. Something happened in our family. It was a lot in August, and it made it so clear that I had heard him correctly. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but I will say, when God is in something, He will confirm it. Okay, you just have to pay attention, and He confirmed it in August of 2024. He confirmed it, even though it wasn't good for our family, meaning it wasn't the best, but when I look back, I said, that's why. That's why. God knew what was coming up, so He knew that we had to be prepared. And we were prepared in that aspect for our children and what our family had to go through. They didn't need to be in nobody's school going through that. What we went through, they didn't need to be in nobody's school. There wasn't a way that they would be able to keep up with their schooling, but what we went through. So, and I tell you, it just pays to just listen to God. He got you. He got your back. Just follow through. Just do what He say to do. So I know people wonder about this, like somebody did ask, I get this, well, I do get this a lot. What does a homeschool day actually look like? So I'm gonna break it down what we do and about some of the things that we do. So we do use a curriculum called Time for Learning. It's online, it's structured. That's what I love about it. Okay, it gives us a foundation. But I want to be clear, when it comes to homeschooling, it's not just about sitting at a computer all day. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. But Time for Learning gives us that foundation and that structure. Okay. A lot of our learning is experimenting, is life. We go to the library, we read, take trips around our city. We live in Raleigh. We look at things, we talk about things, we explore. And I count all of that as school. Okay. Real learning, those things that are happening. Even right now at the age that we are in, I have been pulling on my boys to learn everything about AI, like learn everything about AI. Me and Anthony are well, mostly Anthony is in the financial industry, learn about cryptocurrency, learn about tokenization. We're in tokenized real estate, learning how the financial structures work, especially in the age that we are in. Okay, we're in a new era, and it's very important that my children understand, these things. Both of my boys are really into coding. So I've been looking at some summer things for them this year. The library, your local library, comes in clutch. Okay. They have different activities. We got to get back on the library activities, especially with this summertime coming. If if you are in a space where you cannot afford maybe the summer camps and things like that, the library is where it's at. All of the stuff is free. They have computers there. You can get on the internet. It's just the library just comes in clutch. I think the library, your local library, is a hidden gem that people don't take advantage of. And I realize just saying this, how we haven't fully taken advantage of their activities, but we do in the summertime. We do more so in the summertime than we do throughout the year. But it's a good time to keep your kids not busy, but keep them learning without being in front of computers all day long. Okay. I understand, as a millennial mom, that computers are in, but we didn't do a lot of textbooking this year, but we are next year getting back into more textbook and things like that. So yeah, it's all the learning. It's all the learning curve. It's all the learning thing that we doing. And again, traveling helps. I take monthly trips with Anthony anyway for his business. That becomes a part of homeschool too. Sometimes they want to go, sometimes they won't, they don't. Because like when you're somewhere new, you're learning history, geography, culture, how to navigate the world. Like my kids are getting an education that goes way beyond what the classroom could ever give them. Okay. And one of the biggest things that I've learned is that I had to stop thinking like a school, right? I had to unlearn the idea that learning only looks one way, narrow. Okay. That they just go on at a desk all day. You got the bills, you got the schedule. Now we do have structure, so we do have a schedule, but it's not like that. Okay, there is one. There's not one right way to homeschooling, and the moment I just let go of all that pressure of it, or that I had to do this the right way, everything is just so much better for me and my children. And I have to tell you about this too because I am so proud of it. Is that we own our own school. We are like official. That's something we had to do in North Carolina is create a school. So our school is registered. Is in North Carolina called Dream Life Learning Academy. Because why not? Okay. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it with intention. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to make it real. My kids are not just being homeschooled, okay? They are students of Dream Life Learning Academy, and I am the principal and their teacher. Okay, their dad, he participates too. One of the things I love about my husband is that his presence is amazing in this because he gives them the pop quizzes. It's so funny because sometimes he will give them pop quizzes to see certain things that they know, like whether it's math, whether it's learning about history, just to and get them to think, give them that critical thinking skills as well, and that speaking in front of people. Like even when we go to restaurants and we go out to eat, I make sure that my kids tell people what they want on the menu. You read the menu and you figure out what you want, and you make sure you articulate that to the waiter, okay, or waitress. So it's just those life things again that you don't learn in school, and I don't down school because I come from a school system, but it's not the only way. Okay, there's more than one way to do this. What grandma used to say, it's more than one way to skin a cat, because it is. It's more than one way. And there's also something about naming your school that made the whole thing official, like more intentional. Like it's not something that you just stumble into. It's a decision, okay, that we made and we're owning it fully, okay? So we're getting some merch and all those great things when it comes to Dream Life Learning Academy. That's us. We love it here. And I'm branding the whole thing. Just much like building a business, we're branding it, okay? Now, I'm not accepting like any students or anything like that, but that made it real, okay? One thing I didn't do this year that I need to, because we do get I was just on the website because when we log in, we get a school ID. Okay, so we get a school ID, and our school ID allows me as the principal and teacher to get discounts on school supplies and things like that. I hope that you know that. Take advantage of those things. So yeah, you do have a school ID, and I do want to get their IDs made. So like when we go out, especially when we go out, I didn't do that this year, but I can go ahead and do it this summer. We'll be officially out. So we do take a summer break. So we'll be officially out the first week in June, I believe. I think it's like the first or second week in June, because the first week we do end of grade testing. So we do do that. But yeah, in so many ways, I still operate in a school like I said, when I talk about the schedule, um, it's not like a rigid schedule, but we spend academically on the computer at least 3 hours a day, no more than 3 hours a day, that it takes them to be in their curriculum and doing those things. The rest of it is just life, life experience and life things that we get to do. But can I tell you something that I didn't expect? Homeschooling has also taught me so much about my own children. Like I knew my kids, but when you are with them every day and you're actually like paying attention to how they learn, you start to see things that you never saw before. You get to see how one of them needs to move Okay, while they think, you get to see how another one lights up when something is connected to something that they already love, right? So you learn their pace, their strengths, and what makes them frustrated and what makes them excited as well. So I know my kids' learning style now, how they, remove are how they are when it comes to their learning, and I can teach according to their styles. And that's something you can't do in a classroom of 25 kids. Okay, so they do get to get that time, and they love it. Like they genuinely love it, and I do too. You know, this was one of the best decisions that I have made for our family. I'm so glad I listened to God. I'm so glad I was obedient. Okay, I'm so glad. But that's the story. Okay, from TikTok to the feeling, the pulling that I couldn't shake, to pulling the kids out, to building something, to building Dream Life Learning Academy is real. Is it running? We're in year 2. Okay, we're still going strong. So yeah, if you're thinking about homeschooling, you don't know where to start. I didn't either. Okay, I just took the first step, and then I took the next one. And then God just started, it just started opening up for things for me to look at. It just comes naturally. And again, I'll be making a lot more videos about our homeschool life, like what a real day looks like and the curriculum that we use. I talked about how to balance it even while I'm running a business. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. I hope that you enjoyed my little story time. But someone had asked me the question, and I get it often. I say, you know what? I need to share the story around homeschooling, and I just didn't wake up to it, girl. But we here now. We here. We are here now. So again, if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. I can't wait to chat with you. Let me know, are you a homeschool mom? You homeschool your kids? Have you homeschooled your kids before? What grades are they? I didn't tell y'all what grades my children are in. So my baby boy, he is in the 6th grade. My oldest son, he is in the 8th grade. And then my oldest child, she's in the 10th grade. Okay. So everybody's like 2 grades apart. two grades apart. So yeah, that's, I forgot to mention that. So yeah, I have three of them are homeschooled. I have seven children altogether. The first 3 are my love children, my stepkids. So they're the oldest. They're grown. They're grown, living their life. Then I had a child when I came into the marriage as well. She is Anthony's stepdaughter, but we know they're all of our children. So she'll be 21 this month in April. Wow, right? And then me and Anthony had 3 together. Okay, and the 3 that we had together are the 3 that I am homeschooling. So yeah, just to get you know a little bit about me. All right. So again, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for being here, and I cannot wait to chat with you in the comments. Bye.